Hey, welcome back, guys. We're getting closer to Power Book 2's premiere by the day, and the promotion has been ramping up for the highly anticipated series. Among the barrage have been a set of unique traits, qualities, and attributes that define each major character. In this character analysis series, I'll be breaking down how each quality lines up with their respective character and provide insight and predictions throughout. For the purpose of this first part, we'll be starting with our leading man, Tariq St. Aside from Tariq being the main attraction of the Power Ghost drama, he also must balance two oppositional ideas, the end versus the means, something we'll be dissecting in great detail. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. Tariq St. has been on quite the epic journey since we were introduced to him as a child back in Power's initial book. That story chronicled his development from well-to-do kid to street poison criminal. It depicted the making of a monster in full, culminating in his unceremonious murder of the only man who warned him against underworld life. During his first solo season, named after his legendary forebear, his narrative consisted of him accepting that monster created during the previous book, even doubling down on that ogre-like disposition by season's end, murdering his overly curious professor. Additionally, Tariq grew heavier in the drug game and revolutionized it for the 21st century via his course-correct application. That success brought on the admiration of some and the jealousies of others, all while trying to clear his mother's name in the process. His character was forced to come to terms with what he had become in order to take the necessary steps towards street supremacy. And we saw no greater example of that than his confession to Monet at gunpoint prior to the bar attack, where Reek openly admitted to killing his father for the greater good, simultaneously lifting a huge weight off of his conscience and spirit. The concept of the greater good has been emphasized heavily going into Ghost Season 2, whereas his earlier story dealt with the making and acceptance of that monster. This one will flesh out the consequences of that monstrous path. Our series lead's main promo placard begs the question, does the end justify the means? And Tariq has previously echoed the notion, declaring that, quote, "I always do what I gotta do. It always comes down to me, my family, and the gun." An early remnant of this dichotomy can be found in Niccolo Machiavelli's seminal work, The Prince. In that book, he introduced the idea that the ends justify the means, or simply put, any action or behavior is perfectly acceptable so long as it results in the desired outcome. This is interesting because Machiavelli was a huge inspiration for Robert Greene's timeless Bible of amorality, The 48 Laws of Power. And our current Powerverse has taken plenty of cues from the manual, as I previously outlined. To add more credibility to this correlation, remember Ghost Season 1 Episode 4's title was The Prince, where Tariq's class covered Machiavelli's work and Reek himself developed an ingenious drug delivery scheme via Course Correct. This will be the question Tariq will have to rationalize within himself in order to come out of this season victorious. Did the ends justify the means? Was it worth it for a boy to kill his father, knowing that his guidance will be more imperative now than ever before? His current life would certainly suggest that it did not. It was a short-sighted maneuver that temporarily saved his family from overwhelming media scrutiny and possible police inquiries, but it shattered his family on the back end, as we witnessed in the trailer with Tariq and Yaz. The fallout from Ghost's death led to Tasha'S imprisonment, further stress on the family, both financial and emotional, and her eventual departure to witness protection, leaving her last daughter without a mother and a father, something Tariq and even Raina didn't have to suffer. As Tariq projectedly attempts to fight losing his sister to the system, undoubtedly enlisting the services of Tate to thwart such an effort, he'll have to continuously ask himself, was it worth it? Was it worth it to kill your overly curious professor in order to secure your clandestine career and misdeeds in the underworld? Certainly, an argument is there in the affirmative for Tariq. Here you had someone who was willing to essentially blow your cover for personal gain. But look at the blowback. Your current connect's golden ticket out of the drug game can't help but be affected by such a scandal so close to home. And his relationship with Professor Pretty will only intensify the pressure to flip against his family if the investigation ever gets to that point. Additionally, with the overwhelming police presence that Jabari Kelly's death will draw, how is Tariq supposed to continue his drug operation and fulfill those obligations to Monet? And let's not forget Kane's potential implication in the crime just by mere proximity. Would Tariq potentially pawn away his newfound brother and nemesis if things continue to go left between them? That brings us to Tariq's True End. What does the end portion of the dichotomy look like for our series lead? Success? Money? Women? What does Tariq want out of all of this? Where does he feel his decisions should place him? These questions have answers that have yet to be revealed, but on the surface, it's all about survival for Tariq. We know this because he essentially conveyed as much prior to killing Jabari Kelly. He placed himself and his family at the height of importance on his own measuring stick, and the gun as the great equalizer to maintaining these two things. Tariq's own life is at stake via the Jabari murder investigation, the drug game and its ills, and of course, 2-Bit, who he still owes for saving his life a season ago. His family's life and legacy is at stake via Yaz and her well-being, or lack thereof, due to systemic pitfalls. Plus, his mother is still out there, and so is the Chancellor. So that threat is always imminent, even with the geographical change by the latter. Tariq is going to lean in on the gun more than ever, given his current predicament, and will definitely have to add to his arsenal if he's going to thrive in this new season. That means ensuring his hands are up for any physical attacks where the gun is not an option. Can't be caught out here lacking again. He literally cannot afford it. But what are your thoughts on Tariq's new journey? How do you see his story growing in Season 2? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.